Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daytona 500. That is right. It is race time here at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. I am Michael Norman up here in the booth, and we're going to have an exciting race. And joining me up here for co-commentary once again, welcome the Mr. NNSCRA himself, Seth Cole. Seth, thank you for joining me up here at Daytona.
Thanks for having me, Michael. In baseball, they have the World Series. Football, they have the Super Bowl, but we have our finale, or rather our big event, right at the beginning of the season here with the Daytona 500. Can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Okay, I'm keeping it count. That's one fail for both of us. We're going to combine here. It's going to be a fail because this is a new season, so there's a lot of familiar faces in different places. So we're probably going to call the wrong person at some point today.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that happens here. I know as a commentator as well. You get these new faces and these new rides and everything, and you're like, and you have to kind of double check yourself like twice before you come out with the right driver. So just bear with us, folks. We'll get it right.
All right, so I want you to tell me how good this guy actually is. Dougie Shears, he is the defending Daytona 500 winner, and look where he starts, right here on the pole.
I'll tell you what, when you can win the Daytona 500 every single year, whether it's 4 seasons away or just last season, you are considered a favorite coming into the Great American Race. And Dougie Shears is no exception. I mean, last season, he ended up winning the Daytona 500. He comes in on the pole position. He knows. He's been there before. He knows track position is a key factor into staying ahead of the possible big one, in the fact of leading laps to get points. He knows that you have to be up at the front of the field, and his team put together a pretty fast Farmers Insurance Chevrolet for him to start on the front row.
Now, he won the Daytona 500 last year driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Can he win it? That's another one. Can he win it today here in the 5 for Hendrick Motorsports? We'll have to find out. Let's go trackside.
Drivers, start your engines!
The command to fire the engines has been given. Seth got some key points today for the Daytona 500.
Absolutely. Whenever you come to a restricted plate track, the bottom line is the passing line, unless there's a driver that gets out to a huge lead and you're able to gang up with some drivers on the outside line against him. But you're going to want to try and keep your car down on the inside line if at all possible. Second thing you got to do, be aware of the big one. If the big one happens, you want to be somewhere either in front or way behind it so you can get on the brakes, find somewhere to be able to avoid, because a lot of times we see that even though this is a pretty wide racetrack, with the high speeds they run, there's very little reaction time, very little time to be able to miss a big wreck if and when it happens. Of course, the smoke screen comes into play in that as well. And the final thing, the key point at a restricted plate track, always be thinking of where the best spot to be is in order to be at the front, in the lead, on the final lap coming out of turn 4 to the checkered flag. It could be running 3rd when the white flag comes out, or it could be running 10th, or even outside the top 15 with 2 to go. You never know. You always have to be thinking about that. Where's the best place to be in order to take that checkered flag?
Now, before we begin, Seth, I gave you a list of the drivers' names. Who out of that list do you think has a shot at winning today?
I'll tell you what, I see so many times when a driver wins a championship, they want to then win the Daytona 500. And Stephen Pollard III last season, he won the championship in this series. He wants to be able to add Daytona 500 victory lane to his resume, rolling off there from, I believe that's the 11th position. Watch for that 24 to be up at the front all day long. He's got his teammates in here. He's got, of course, the pole sitter Dougie Shears. He's got Cody Hagan. Watch for him to be up at the front for a majority of this race.
Green flag is out. We're underway here in the Daytona 500. Yeah, now, as much to what you were saying, I'm actually going to go for a little different strategy today. I'm going to go with a guy who is a little further in the back here. I think, personally, that the number 20 of Cody Lamas, being as though he's starting in the back, I think he might be able to get that Toyota up to the front and possibly win today's race.
And I'm not saying he's going to, but how about that number 1 of Trent Dunham? It'll be interesting to see. We know the love he has for Daytona, especially the 500. And it'll be interesting to see just exactly how soon he decides to get his number 1 Cessna McDonald Chevrolet to the front.
That'd be interesting. 5-time
4 wide up ahead.
Uh-oh, I just noticed that too.
They're bouncing off each other. That's Pollard, and I believe that was Zachary Fitzwater rubbing doors.
Yes, they are. Stephen Pollard, he's already not wasting any time trying to get to the front. Yeah, now he's stuck in the middle line with no help.
And keep in mind, too, this is a battle for the Daytona 500 win, but keep in mind, too, a win could lock you up a chase spot here for this season. So that's another thing these drivers are vying for.
It did last year. Everybody who got a win was in the chase. As the leader right now is Dylan Young, as these cars are 3 wide off the corner, which isn't always a good thing, because if you're 3 wide, you're going to end up hitting that outside wall.
Yeah, Nick Altendorf took that turn really wide out of 4, and I think he did get a bit of the safer barrier. 15's on the apron. Preston Plord.
Yeah, see, I've seen drivers do this too. They put 2 tires below that line. It doesn't usually slow them down. And look at Carson. Wow.
What is he doing? Okay, this is not going to be good. Oh my.
That's not even Carson Gum. That's Larry Hagan. I told you it was going to happen.
Let him up, guys. Let him up. I don't understand how it's not killing the momentum of that 22, because he's got 2 tires on flat apron and 2 tires on a banked turn. I don't know how that's not killing his momentum. It loses some spots there, but man, he did a good job of car control.
Look at the way these cars are driving this track.
Yeah, there's literally no racing line here. They are using every bit of this racetrack, every lane available, even the apron.
I say look at the way they're driving. I go to the pace car.
That pace car, man, he's way down in no man's land.
I know, right? Leading the race currently is the Sprint Unlimited winner, Daniel Voiles. And as you see, there's a battle on for second place behind him.
And Daniel Voiles, with winning that Sprint Unlimited, he's got a little bit of a one-up on everybody, too, because he knows where he's got to be as far as positioning himself at the end of the race. He was able to do it to perfection, win the Sprint Unlimited. We'll see if he can do it here in the 500. Right now, it seems like he just wants to stay out in front ahead of this chaos behind him.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Look at this, just the way things starting to settle down behind him. Uh-oh. Who's that? Oh, it's Charles Jackson coming down the pit road.
Outside pole sitter.
Is he under power or something happened, but he's coming down the pit road.
I'm trying to look. It looks like there could be some damage to the right front of his machine. He might have gotten the wall off 4 or something. It might have knocked the toe in.
I don't actually hear his car running at all. Charles Jackson coming down pit road. Not the way he wanted to start his Daytona 500.
Certainly not. Looks like they are going to at least try some start caution.
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh.
That is the worst place for a wreck to happen.
See who's all involved here.
It's like Preston Plard, Derek Pemberton.
Derek Pemberton is also involved. That could help Charles a little bit.
Josh Pollard's got some damage on his Geico Chevy.
Kyle Matthews has damage on his car here. Looks like Connor Breton has some damage. The 2 of Jake Haynes has some damage.
And I don't know for certain, but I think I'm right. I think the 24 of Stephen Pollard III got some of that.
I think so too, unless he got
I saw his Drive to End Hunger Chevy get driven into the passenger side at least. It looks like the pole sitter Dougie Shears. I don't know if. Well, maybe. I don't think he was involved, but he might have been.
Yeah, he was. I see the damage on both the 24 and the 5.
There was a bit of a buckle on the hood of the 72 of John Cittadino. There were very few drivers, I think, that were able to drive through that mess that were behind it. Wait, whoa! What in the world?
What?
16 of Derek Pemberton just drove straight into the back of Silver Fox.
Huh. These cars are trying to all get figured out here. As these cars settle it out and go to pit road, let's go back and take a look and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the Daytona 500. Alright, we're back here to figure this out. This was as we were watching Charles Jackson on pit road. Seems the 15 cars, I'm not sure what happened. Hold on. Oh look, he just kind of hit the wall for some reason, and then the 16 turned him down into Breton and Silver Fox. And then we all know how this happens when you're spinning down and coming back up to the track, right up into Collard and Citadino. The 11 got a piece of it there.
Yeah,
look at Trent. Look at Trent through this right here.
Trent and Dylan Young both, I think, got through there, and I think also the 9 of Fitzwater. They did a nice job getting through that, but a couple other drivers collected there. Betty Thomas in the 95, and
here comes
do get held up there.
Here comes the
Jake
group
Haynes.
right now, but they managed to slow down.
Yeah, it's a wonder they didn't run into the back of Robert Wagner, because Wagner was turning up the racetrack to avoid, and then there comes that whole train of cars.
All right, this is it at full speed.
You know, I'm not rightly sure if maybe Preston had it saved, but with the momentum that was taken away from scraping the wall, I think maybe the 22 of Larry Hagan, when he went by, he sucked the 15 around back into the outside wall.
I'm starting to believe that.
I mean, watch when the 22 gets to him. That's when the 15 turns dead right again. I think he took the air off the spoiler and spun him back to the right. Right here, he is alongside. 16 might have taken the air off him too. One or the other.
I'm not entirely sure. It looked like had to be something for him to just kind of hit the wall right there. Now,
because it looks like Preston Plord had the thing pretty much under control after he hit the wall the first time, but then it was like he lost it, and I think that was some aerodynamic problems there.
This is from view,
yeah.
This is a view from Trent Dunham back in 31st place.
I tell you what, man, I think his Daytona 500 luck's turned around, and Fitzwater was right behind him, following him through.
Yes, he was. All right, well, that's a look to see what happened to bring up the first caution. So let's go see who's left and what's going to happen on the restart. All right, welcome back to Daytona. We're going to have a restart just above 10 laps to go at 11:11. And here are the drivers who are out of the race. Connor Breton is out. Charles is 1 lap down. The 15 of Preston Plord is out. The 61 of Anthony McCurry is out. The 16 of Derek Pemberton is out. The 13 of Collard is 2 laps down. And James Silverfox is out of the race.
And Anthony McCurry, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he got involved in the wreck. I think he came down pit road with an unscheduled stop, a valve problem going to miss on him. So that's 2 drivers so far, Charles Jackson and Anthony McCurry, that have experienced some kind of mechanical problems here today.
I still don't understand what it was with the 54. But your top 10 coming to the green is Steve Pollard, Henrietta Fitzwater, Daniel Voiles, Jessica Shelton, Sean Henley, Dusty Allen, O'Neill Belvin, Alexandria Belvin, if I'm not mistaken, or Annabelle. No, excuse me. Wow, Annabelle Belvin. I apologize for that. Jessica Villanueva and Cameron Pemberton.
You know, I just ended up getting radioed. The problem with Charles Jackson was apparently his battery went off. He tried switching to the other battery. He was not able to, so he had to coast the thing, not under power to pit road. They had to switch the battery on pit road under green.
Tough luck there for Charles Jackson. Already on the restart, the 43 car immediately going to go to the inside. Here comes Henrietta Fitzwater.
And she timed it good because, remember, you can pass on the high side before the start-finish line, but you cannot pass lower or you'll get penalized. She did not dive to the inside until after they crossed the stripe, so a nice timed pass by Henrietta Fitzwater. It looks like she's got Jessica Shelton going with her, Sean Henley, and others.
And all these cars are going to leave those 2 out on the outside line as the front 2 try to pull away.
I'll tell you what, Annabelle Belvin, that car had the back end completely pushed out of it down the back straightaway. She was zigzagging back and forth off the nose of Cameron Pemberton.
Oh yeah, look at this line of race cars coming down for 10 laps to go.
And you gotta wonder, as you said, 10 to go. If we had a caution at this point, we still would get back to green. But you gotta remember too, if that late race caution comes out, then these guys might be racing for the win in the next 4 laps or so. So you gotta wonder how hard they're gonna go against each other here, knowing that we're getting close to the end.
I completely agree with you because I, for one, know how it feels to win a race like this under caution.
Yeah, right.
And as you see, Shelton had the lead, but now it's going to go to Sean Henley down the inside line, and right behind him, Dusty Allen and Jessica Villanueva, along with Cameron Pemberton.
Field's kind of split up back there. It's probably about maybe 16 cars in this lead pack, then about 5 stragglers hoping to catch the tail end of the draft. I saw Seth Cole back there. I think Nathan Hudson, Dylan Young, they're trying to catch back up to the tail end of this draft.
I've seen it happen. With the way these cars race, they can catch up. Henley going to kind of be stuck with the middle line, as here comes Cameron Pemberton down the inside line.
And how about Lisa Gonzalez there in the 55, the 21 of Joshua Balkin, some names we haven't talked about. Now up here in the closing stages, coming to the front.
3 wide for the lead. We've seen the 55 car go to victory lane one time in the career.
Oh, Henley in the wall, 78 in the back of him, 4 wide.
I said that at the same time. Gosh, and we thought this was the end of the race or something.
Yeah, how about that?
Here comes Joshua Balkin and Sprint Unlimited winner Daniel Voiles back down to the inside line.
Alex May now makes his way to the front. There's Dylan Poteet in the 31. That's what's the beauty of Daytona. All these new faces start to come up here out of the woodwork as the laps tick away.
Look at that second pack. It's catching these drivers.
Seth Cole and I believe O'Neal Belvin were in that second pack. They've caught on to the tail end of this draft. Dusty Allen now trying to do the same. Nathan Hudson as well. They will if these guys continue to race as hard as they're racing right now.
22 just does the 22. Larry Hagan has moved the 51 out of the way. We got 7 laps to go.
Tell you what, I'm trying to look for teammates that might be able to work with each other. There's quite a few Tweenix guys up there, the 31, 51, 52. Aside from that, not many teammates able to find each other right now.
Yeah, right now on the inside line, it's Tweenix, Hendrick Motorsports, and then it's also Richard Petty Motorsports and Joe Gibbs and Front Row all on that inside line.
And now there's more party comers. You got the 42 of Dusty Allen. I see the 34 of Peter Saviano. The 27 of Carson Gum. They're all now in the mix.
22, like I said, 3 wide's never a good thing.
Up and into the fence goes Alex May. He's going to be able to keep out of their way, though, but that could end his chances. Carson Gum, or rather make that Larry Hagan in the 22. Thinking back to last season, he's now maybe going to fade from view. As here comes the 18, maybe looking 3 wide for the lead. Here comes O'Neal Belvin.
Belvin knows how to get it done at Super Speedway. Just remember Talladega last year.
Oh, believe me, I'm having flashbacks to Talladega seeing O'Neal go to the front here.
Just remember last time he switched from the 13 to the 18 this season. But now, here comes Jessica Villanueva and Seth Cole.
Jessica Villanueva been running basically in the top 10 most of the last 3 or 4 laps. Now decides to make it her turn to go to the front. Seth Cole there. How about Dusty Allen? Remember how we've seen him last season. He made quite an impression. He wants to win the 500.
5 laps to go at Daytona.
Look at Sean Henley. He was up in the wall 5 laps ago. Now he's back on the inside line trying to get back to the front.
3 wide back there for the 3rd position.
And a lot of drivers are now in the mix because of the racing that's gone up here at the front. Nathan Hudson's been able to latch on to the back. The 19 of Annabelle Belvin, she's been able to latch on again. And there's about 3 or 4 other drivers, and if this racing keeps up, they're going to be back up in this lead pack.
Look at how much Jessica Villanueva is blocking, but unfortunately she couldn't keep her car down the inside. Here comes the 41 of Annie Thomas.
We got probably, I would say, about 18, maybe 20 cars up in this lead pack. And there's another 10 that are just about a few seconds behind, less than a second, I'd say, behind them, wanting to reel them in as well. Right there in your shot. Those drivers are still in the hunt for this win.
Yes, they are. And anything is possible at Daytona. Here, just like here, Carson Gum, followed by Zach Fitzwater and Lisa Gonzalez.
And they are racing hard from first all the way back, but we've got to hope that they're going to be able to race it hard but clean, because when we hit the stripe, there's 3 to go. If a caution comes out now, the race would end under yellow. They'd race it back to the stripe, so let's hope they can keep it together.
27 leaving a lot of bottom open.
Yes, he is. That 55. Lisa Gonzalez might try and make some kind of a move, but not yet. Look at Henley. He's going to try and go to the outside line. And 1 car on the apron. That's the 21 running the apron of Joshua Balkin.
And he's not alone.
19 running there as well.
NNSCRA officials have deemed this possible.
Yes, they have. And look at that. 21's to the inside of the 43 on the apron going for position.
What has come of this race? Look,
Oh my goodness, they're using every part of this racetrack except pit road.
What? Now watch someone go down pit road.
They're going to use the Daytona bootleg next lap. I'm calling it.
It's still Carson Gum leading. He knows how to work the draft.
Yeah, right now he is mirror driving more than looking out of his windshield, keeping the 55 at bay. You gotta wonder when is Lisa going to make a move. Here comes the 4.
55 tries to block, but he couldn't get back down in time. Here comes not only Steve Pollard, but the Sprint Unlimited winner himself.
Yeah, hey, what if he's found the spot? What if he found the spot that he needs to be in to win both the Unlimited and the 500? Daniel Voiles right there. He's got Jessica Shelton behind him. Henrietta Fitzwater, Peter Saviano, and Nathan Hudson now 6th on that inside line. Actually, now 7th. He's now in the lead pack.
They're going to lead the 27 out to dry, going down into turn number 3. Uh-oh. Here's Charles Jackson.
Oh, no! No! I've seen this happen before! Don't tell me!
Charles Jackson is up to speed, but he's just lost the draft. So
Charles, go in the grass! Spin out, something!
No, don't spin out. It'll cause a caution. Go down the pit road
Spin
again.
away from them, I mean.
He's up to speed. He just lost the draft.
Oh, my goodness.
So as soon as they catch him, they'll be able to get the draft off him. They don't know where to go.
Where are they going to find some room?
Charles is up to speed. He's not slowing anybody down.
Peter Saviano may have just killed that inside line's momentum. It's now Steve Pollard, Jessica Shelton, Daniel Voiles, the top 3 as they head to the stripe.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was the final lap. Look at the run the 25 is getting. I don't think it's going to be enough.
It might be. She might get a run.
Nope.
But Voiles, will he go with her? Here she goes.
But
Needs some help.
Pollard. Steve Pollard wins the Daytona 500.
Man.
I didn't even realize it was the final lap.
I knew it was the final lap. Where were you?
I don't know. Watching this race. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end. We were having such fun.
Oh, man.
Charles Jackson played a little bit of part in that, but they were able to get around him no problem. Damn, I wish we had like 5 more laps.
Throat lozenges for everyone.
I agree with that. The race is official.
No, it's not. Now it is.
Oh, it is now. Okay, anyways, I'll save the results anyways. So, Steve Pollard going to take a victory lap with the Sprint Unlimited winner right behind him.
Oh, yeah, Daniel Voiles, I guess he's kind of taken the assist there because he did not offer the drafting help to Jessica Shelton on that move in the tri-oval. Instead, he stayed high and helped Pollard win, so...
It's the 2 winners of Speed Weeks.
That's not too bad. The 500 winning the Sprint Unlimited winner, doing a little victory lap together. Both winners at Daytona.
I completely agree with that. As you see where you finish here, Seth, okay, you know what? You're officially my co-commentator for the whole dang season.
Yeah, I mean, it just always seems like crazy stuff happens whenever we're commentating with each other.
I know it does. Steve Pollard with the victory, Shelton in 2nd, Daniel Voiles 3rd, Henrietta Fitzwater 4th. Carson Gum pulls away a 5th, Peter Saviano 6th, Lisa Gonzalez 7th, Joshua Balkin in 8th, and Nathan Hudson 9th, and then Dylan Poteet rounds out the top 10. Man, where did Stephen Pollard the 3rd finish? Because that was your pick.
Yep.
He finished back in the 32nd position.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Steven might have gotten the wall, or else another car got the wall in front of him and it killed his momentum. That's probably why he finished so far back. I think that was a big part for most of these drivers here.
5 times luck, unfortunately. Not good as usual at Daytona.
Yep, Trent Dunham missed that big wreck, but apparently must have lost the draft or something. Did not finish well here, and pole sitter Dougie Shears also finishing rather poorly there in the Farmers Insurance Chevy.
Well, what an incredible Daytona 500 that was. What a way to kick off Season 4 of the Budweiser All-Pro Series. Seth, thank you for joining me. I mean, seriously, thank you, because without you, that race probably wouldn't have been exciting.
Oh, thanks for having me, and I just want to say, just because this is the Budweiser All-Pro Series, and just because the Budweiser car won the 500, there's nothing rigged. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now that the Budweiser car has gone to the Budweiser victory lane here in the Budweiser All-Pro Series.
Oh, so much Budweiser.
And the Budweiser 500. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa! Wait, what?
No. And
The Daytona 500, brought to you by Budweiser.
and Budweiser Speed Weeks.
Daytona International Speedway in St. Louis, Missouri at Anheuser-Busch. Wait, what?
Well, anyway, so thank you for joining me. Saw where you finished. Congratulations to Steve Pollard, winless last season, wins the big one this season, and we'll see you guys next week at Atlanta. Till we meet again.
So the Harvick car wins the 500 as the closer. Wow.
Yeah, right?
That wasn't NASCAR Sprint Cup Series like at all.